So chances are you've heard or read about or watched videos all about the wonderful things about Nashville, and don't get me wrong, Nashville is amazing. However, every rose has its thorns, so in today's video, I'm tackling the 5 things that I hate about Nashville. Everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin Martin and I'm a local Nashville real estate agent, and I specialize in helping savvy sellers who want to sell right and sell smart, as well as helping out-of-staters who are looking to relocate to the Middle Tennessee area. If this is your first time stopping by my channel, thank you so much. Please feel free to click subscribe down below so that you are notified anytime I release new video content. So today I am talking about the 5 things I hate about Nashville. Now here's the thing, there is so much that I love about Nashville and the Franklin area. However, no city is perfect, of course. And I feel like if you're looking to relocate here, it's only right to tell you the 5 things that I feel like are a big thorn in my side. So let's go ahead and jump on in. Number 1 is gonna have to be Interstate 24. Now, Nashville does have 3 main interstate arteries that run through it. You have Interstate 40, Interstate 65, and Interstate 24. Now, 24 is gonna run all the way from the Kentucky line near Clarksville, all the way down through Nashville, down towards Chattanooga. So it's gonna go through Murfreesboro. That interstate, now all of them can deal with traffic, yes. But I feel like 24 is the worst of all 3. I feel like when you get on it, the drivers are just kind of like mad drivers. It's like the wild, wild west on 24. And 24 is also gonna deal with a lot of congestion getting from Nashville, where the interstate comes from 40 and then it merges down into 24. If you were heading from Nashville, say, to Murfreesboro, there you do deal with congestion there. But again, it's like it has these weird starts and stops in it when you're in traffic. And again, I just feel like you get some really insane drivers on 24. I wish there was a way to avoid it, but that's impossible. But Interstate 24 is one of my biggest bugaboos about Nashville. Number 2 kind of goes in line with number 1 in terms of traffic, but when it rains in Nashville, people completely lose their sense of how to drive. Like it's insane. So when it rains, or even if it's a drizzle, like people forget how to navigate a wet or kind of wet road. The amount of accidents that happen in the rain is insane. There are so many that happen. Here's the thing, if you're moving here and it's a rainy day, plan for extra drive time if you're having to drive during rush hour traffic, because inevitably there's going to be one, if not a couple, of crashes along the way, just because again, it's like people in Nashville lose any common sense or lose their minds when it comes to learning how to drive in the rain. So of course you be cautious, but it's almost like overly cautious to the point that it causes accidents. So that's number 2. Number 3 is the stereotype that people think we all own cowboy boots and cowboy hats. Like, we see tourists come here all the time and they are decked out in their cowboy boots with their cowboy hat. And I think a lot of people think we actually wear that all the time. Now, granted, a lot of us do have our own pair of cowboy boots, but those are more or less reserved for special occasions. We are not going around decked out in cowboy boots and cowboy hats all the time. That's not the Nashville style. That's not the Nashville way. But we do find that a lot of people think that's the way we dress, and that's just not the case. Number 4 is gonna be the lack of good parking. Now, Nashville has seen such explosive growth and development over the better part of the last 10 years that, of course, developers were gonna come in, take up parking lots, put buildings in its place. So if you're trying to go anywhere around Nashville, like the downtown Nashville area, Midtown, anywhere within like close proximity to downtown, chances are you're going to be paying a high price for parking and it's going to be harder to come by. And again, those in the parking that you do come by is going to be astronomical in price. I miss the days of when we had free parking lots and easy accessibility to parking. But again, of course, this is one of the growing pains that comes along with all the growth and development that we've seen over the better part of the last 10 years. So it is something to deal with. But thankfully, at least a few places, like if you're wanting to go to 5th and Broad, they have a ton of underground parking. So they're coming up with some better solutions with these newer developments. However, we've lost a lot of parking to buildings. So that is just something that you have to deal with here in Nashville. But I feel like that's probably pretty typical of any bigger city. And then number 5 is going to be the fact that if you go to any event at Nissan Stadium, whether it is a concert, the Titans football games, whatever it may be, getting an Uber afterwards is a friggin' nightmare. So typically what happens if you are going to Nissan Stadium, unless you have a parking pass, the best option is to Uber or find parking on the other side of the river. So if you don't know, Nissan Stadium is right at the Cumberland River, and there's a big pedestrian bridge that crosses over the river into downtown Nashville with where all the honky tonks are. So that is typically, if you're going to park and you don't have a parking pass for the Nissan lots, you go park over there, walk across the pedestrian bridge. Well, when you're a part of an event, again, whether it's a concert or a football game, and you are with tens of thousands of people and you're pouring out at the end of the night, you have to go, the majority of people are going back up across the pedestrian bridge, so it's very crowded. And then again, trying to get an Uber is really hard just because of the amount of people that are trying to get one if they didn't park themselves. So I've been caught in it a couple times. I mean, wait times for trying to get an Uber can be upwards of 2 hours. So that's always something to think about, or maybe try to arrange other accommodations. If you're not staying in the heart of Nashville, if you're trying to go elsewhere afterwards, just know you could absolutely deal with an Uber and Lyft shortage. And again, like I said, I've gotten caught in it before, and it's especially when it's hot and so many people packed in together and wait, it's a whole mess. So those are the 5 biggest things that I really hate about Nashville. Again, I love living here. There is so much for me to love. But again, I feel like it's doing a disservice to people if you're always like, it's the best, there's nothing wrong with it. I feel like you've got to tell people the negatives as well. So overall, those are going to be the 5 biggest things that I really just don't like about Nashville. And again, some of them you're just going to have to deal with. But you know, it is what it is, and you just focus on the good, don't focus on the bad. Now, if you are thinking about moving to the Nashville area, or you have any questions about the Nashville-Franklin area, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. All of my contact information is below, along with my free Nashville relocation guide. I'm Caitlin Martin. I'll see you next time.